verse. Who being the brightness of his glory, whole sermon series can be and have been done on every one of the aspects of Jesus in the first few verses of Hebrews 1. It's a powerful study. For sake of time, and I don't want to damage the text, there's only so much we can do. Being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, that's a whole sermon. And we'll leave it there just to suffice to know that Jesus was everything God was supposed to look like. And upholding all things by the word of his power. Another set of sermons can be done there. The very words of Jesus were the power of the universe that hung the moon and the stars. When Jesus opened his mouth, the very word of the power of heaven was speaking. What an awesome thing. When he had by himself purged our sins, sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high. Notice that Jesus by himself, not with your help, not with my help, not with the church's help, not with your works, but all by himself. What a great accomplishment. All by himself purged the sins of the entire world, and then when he was done, sat down at the right hand of the majesty. And this leads us to verse 4. Having become so much better than the angels, as he has by, here's another key word, inheritance, obtained a more excellent name than they. Jesus was made a little lower than the angels, right? That's what you'll learn as the author backtracks in chapter 2 in Hebrews to tell you that he was made a little lower than the angels. But in chapter 1, he opens by telling you because of inheritance, he has become so much better than all of the angels, and his name is higher than any other name in the realm of the heavenlies. And where it used to just be Yeshua or Jesus on the earth, then when he died, rose again, and ascended, he was made higher than angels by the right of inheritance. That key word in the middle of the verse is huge. By rights of inheritance, he cashed in on what Daddy owed him. Remember that? I'm here to glorify your name, Father, and the Father said, it hath been glorified, and it shall be glorified again. And that was God saying, when you die, I will raise you up. I will glorify your name again. I will give you what comes to you as a result of you doing what I have instructed you to do. And so Jesus goes to the cross, to the grave, raises his sins, and sits at the right hand of the Father, having purged sins by himself. He now has rights to the title deed of heaven. Rights of inheritance. By inheritance. He's the heir. He has inheritance. Skip ahead. Verse 14. Are they not all ministering spirits? It's talking about angels, because it's showing the superiority of Christ to angels. Sent forth to minister for those who will inherit salvation. Who are those in verse 14 who will inherit salvation? We don't earn it. We don't work for it. We inherit it. This is an awesome concept that the author is establishing to Hebrew people who at this point have everything they have because of who they are. Rights of inheritance are not unfamiliar to a Hebrew. They have it because it's daddy's bloodline. But you can tell the author is setting us up for something greater. And if you was to work your way through the whole book of Hebrews, you would see such an unveiling of that testament, that last will and testament of the Father. So what we've seen is that Jesus was the heir of heaven. Jesus by inheritance was made better than everything in the heavenlies. Not just created to be made better, but was made better because of the suffering he put forth at the cross and the resurrection and the ascension into heaven, purging our sins by himself forever. He sat down at the right hand of the Father and thus received the last will and testament of God. And now you are on your way to an inheritance of salvation. What a beautiful thing.